Like generations of kids, slot car sets were a regular fixture in my childhood. And at a recent flea market, I thought I'd hit the absolute jackpot. This video is dedicated to the highs and lows of collecting vintage toys.
It's the toughest race you'll ever run against a driver who isn't even there. The AFX Ghost Racer, where you can take on a friend or set the Ghost Racer speed, then take him on. Down the back straight, through the hairpin, and over the bridge. One lap to go, but one false move, and you don't stand a ghost of a chance. Aurora's AFX Ghost Racer. The closest thing to real racing.
G'day guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Today's video is one of celebration and of commiseration, and it's my appeal to whoever's watching this to help me turn this vintage toy find from a fail back to a grail. The story starts on Christmas Day 1992 when I received what was probably one of my all-time most memorable Christmas gifts, the Aurora AFX Ghost Racer slot car set. Now, if I'm perfectly honest, I had asked Santa Claus that year for the Thunderloop Thriller, which was more impressive and more expensive, but any disappointment that I felt when I ripped the wrapping paper off and I saw that Ghost Racer set was very, very short-lived once I clicked that track together and got to racing. Now, essentially, the main gimmick or feature of the Ghost Racer set by AFX was the optional computer-powered second player, which was perfect for, a kid like me with a younger brother that would have been about 4 years old at the time, because I could set the computer powered player 2 car on, I could give him the remote, he'd have a fantastic time thinking he was controlling the car, and I'd have a decent adversary and not have to worry about his car flying off at every corner. Now, the awesome thing about the Ghost Racer set was it was a perfect starting point for my AFX collection as a kid. So I'd use my pocket money or my allowance each week or every couple of weeks to buy another car or to buy another track piece to build upon the Ghost Racer track layout. Now, since I started out as an adult collector, I've been on the hunt for a boxed AFX Ghost Racer set. And a couple of months ago, when my brother texted me some photos of one at a flea market, I couldn't believe my eyes. Not only was this seller selling the boxed Ghost Racer set, he also had another boxed AFX set, and it was the Tomy AFX Formula 1 Team Challenge set. This was an even more expensive, bigger set that I remember being on store shelves in the very early 90s that I had no hope of ever getting my hands on. But what I would do is I'd use that pocket money, that allowance like I mentioned, to buy the little Formula 1 cars that came with that Formula 1 Team Challenge set and the hairpin and chicane track pieces. So even though I couldn't afford the complete set, I could add it into the Ghost Racer and still get in on the fun. The flea market seller told my brother that both sets were complete and ready to go. I would have ideally liked to have been there to inspect them personally, but I wasn't, and I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity after spending so long trying to hunt down the Ghost Racer set. So I gave my brother the go-ahead to offer $40 each, so $80 total for both sets, which is so $80 Australian, so that's about 50 or 60 US dollars. The seller accepted, and we were once again in the possession of a Ghost Racer set with bonus AFX Tomy Formula 1 Team Challenge set. Now, the plan was, when I decided to make the offer on the sets, my plan was to clean up the Formula 1 Team Challenge set, maybe play with it a little, sell it, and hopefully cover the costs of both sets, because the offer that I made of 40 Australian dollars per set was about half of what I've seen them go for complete on eBay. So that was the plan, get them both. I only really wanted the Ghost Racer, but I'd see if I could use the Team Challenge, clean it up, and then sell it, and then cover the cost of both. And then we were gonna stow the Ghost Racer away at my brother's until Christmas. And then after, 28 years, from 1992 to 2020, we were gonna be reunited. We were gonna do a retrospective review 28 years later, and I was gonna make this video around that. That's what this video was supposed to be. No prizes for guessing where this Grail becomes a fail. The Ghost Racer doesn't work. The Formula 1 Team Challenge is even worse because the Ghost Racer is complete, but I can't get it working. The Formula One Team Challenge is lucky to be maybe 70 or 75% complete, and what's there doesn't work. What can I say? You know, for the most part, as you see behind me, I'm a vintage action figure collector, not necessarily a slot car enthusiast collector. When it comes to buying vintage action figures, even like when you're unable to inspect them, you buy them online, usually the photos tell the story. This slot car business is a totally different kettle of fish. So where do we go from here? Well, here's where I'm hoping that you guys can maybe help out. Maybe someone watches this that has some advice for me, because not all is lost. Now let's get into what's wrong with the sets. Just quickly, I don't want to focus on the negatives here, but I just want to show you guys what I'm working with because I want to ask for your help. So looking at the Formula One Team Challenge set, we've got the Ferrari branded controller, has a cut cable, so that cable's completely gone. I don't see any way of restoring that, you know, within my capabilities anyway, so that's that. We've got a number of the track pieces across both the Formula One Team Challenge set and the Ghost Racer set showing some serious deterioration. We've also got some track pieces on the Formula One Team Challenge set having some clips that are broken off, so I don't see there's any way of really connecting those. So, you know, here's what we're up against. At the end of the day, I was looking for a boxed Ghost Racer set knowing that it would spend 99% of its time on display in the collection room, but I'm going to be honest, I don't like knowing that it doesn't work. Even though I'm not going to be getting it out every weekend like I would if I was, you know, 6 years old, I still want to know that, you know, inside that beautiful box with that beautiful artwork is a complete working Ghost Racer set, so that on Christmas Day in 2021, you know, when my brother's over, we can fire up the Ghost Racer and make it work. But not all is lost here, and I'm hoping that with some help from the internet, either ideally the Ghost Racer set or you know, possibly both sets can somehow be salvaged, because both of the cars seem to be working when they're on the central track piece that's connected to the power cable. So that's both the cars for the Ghost Racer on the main track piece that connects to the power for the Ghost Racer set, and again on the Formula One set on the main track piece that connects to the power cable. Both of the Formula One cars work. So I'm hoping that maybe this is just as simple as a faulty track piece or several faulty track pieces that aren't allowing the electric current to be maintained around the track, and therefore the cars are losing power once they get onto the next track piece. I am far from an expert. Like I said, I'm an action figure guy, and maybe at a stretch, I'm a retro gaming guy. I'm not a slot car guy, so I'm hoping there's someone out there that knows a lot more about this than me that can point me in the right direction, that can tell me if that theory is true, firstly, and if it is, how can I fix it? How do I know which track pieces aren't working, shy of spending hours, if not days, trial and erroring? Because if I know which track pieces are faulty, I can set about replacing them and we can build complete sets. Here's where I'm hoping you guys can come in. If anyone happens to be watching this that knows more about slot cars than me, which isn't difficult, and can offer some advice, that would be absolutely awesome. I still have hope that we can turn this fail into a Grail. Look, worst case, these pieces look fantastic on display, but like I said, I do want to know that, you know, when I got some friends around, or when I got my brother or my cousins around who remember this from 1992, we can relive those childhood memories. Now, while I'm asking for help in the comments section, I want to take the opportunity to thank and shout out the last person that helped me out in the comments section, and that's Richard Miller. I picked up a large group of Toxic Crusaders and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures in one of my hauls last year. I had an unidentified accessory that I had no idea what it was, and Richard educated me that it was actually a Tonka Supernaturals accessory that was mixed up in the bunch. So go figure. Thanks so much, Richard. The community, you know, both online and in the real world is really one of my favorite aspects of the hobby. And I'm hoping that someone else out there can help me out with this particular challenge that I'm having. And that's it, guys. I'm really sorry this video doesn't have more vintage toy goodness, but the life of a collector has highs and it has lows. And YouTube is chock full of videos of killer scores, but I think cautionary tales and pleas for advice also have their place in the hobby. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments, what do I do? Do I cut my losses? Do I sell for parts? Do I persevere and try to salvage these sets? Do I just enjoy the box art and display them for what they are? I'd love to hear from you. Guys, I hope your 2021's off to a fantastic start. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Later.